Hello folks, Headley here. This is my contribution to 2019's vinyl tag. So there's a lot of questions, not much time to do it, so I'm going to crack on. Okay, first question, best find of 2018, and that's quite easily going to be the first album by Swamp Water. Swamp Water was kind of a country rock group that came out of the famous Nashville West. You had Gib Gilboa, who was in that. John Beeland joined, and basically they are think of a Cajun version of the Flying Burrito Brothers. So country rock with a Cajun feel. So first album by Swamp Water from 19... this is actually a Japanese pressing. It's from 1970, I believe. I think. Could be 71. But this is for 78 repress from Japan. It's very nice. Okay, next question. The shout out to another VC channel. That would have to be M. Jones, Mike. So it's his title, his channel title is just M. Jones. I'm sure some of you have watched it. He's under 100 views. I'm not sure he particularly wants any more views, so he probably won't thank me for this. He produces videos that really focus on blues and soul, country and folk. I think he's up in somewhere in Canada. I know he's talked about the Halifax vinyl fair. The thing I love about his videos is he clearly loves this music. He's not messing around, he just gets on with it, and he's always balancing talking about the records with childcare. The number of times his children are in the background, or I say background, in the foreground, trying to get in the way, but the way he soldiers on is just wonderful. So Mike, love your channel, and I hope more people check you out. So M. Jones. Okay, next one. What holes am I looking to fill? There's quite a few, really. Things like I'm missing 12 songs by Randy Newman. That would kind of complete, I think, my vinyl collection of his. It's not particularly hard to find. It's just getting around to getting it. One that is hard to find is the album by a band called Shiloh, which had members of the Eagles and people who worked with Graham Parsons and Linda Ronstadt. So it's early country rock, and I very nearly bought it online for I think £90, but I chickened. I did get it, but that's something I'm really missing to sort of fill in my country rock, early country rock collection. Okay. A cheap album that's really good. Right, talking about country rock, I'm going to go with the Nitty Gritty Dirt Band's, and it's called, Symphonian Dream. And this is from 1975. It is an outstanding album. It is, in many ways, a concept album. And it kind of has a lot of different feels to it. Bluegrass, rock. You even have sort of ambient kind of stuff going on it. It's interesting. Folk, some sort of traditional folk stuff. A beautiful, beautiful, interesting concept album from a very interesting group at that time who were producing all kinds of stuff. This is after they did Will the Circle Be Unbroken, but so that's the Nitty Gritty Dirt Band, Symphonian Dream. I'm sure you can pick it up in America really, really cheap. Here you can probably pick it up for under £5. A favourite side project. I've shown them before, I'll show them again because I love them, and that's Calexico. John Convertino and Joey Burns were the rhythm section from Hal Gelb's Giant Sand for a while, and while they were playing there, they put together Calexico. Originally, it was going to be called damn, can't remember. But anyway, they changed their name and they became Calexico, and they produce this sort of strange Americana country soundtrack, Ennio Morricone, spaghetti western music. More recently, they've gone into sort of Latin sounds and world music, but as spin-offs go, or side projects, it's a pretty big one. This is a self-produced sort of bootleg almost of just sort of instrumental tracks that they put together, called Toolbox. So, Calexico. A song from an artist or band that is uncharacteristic in their catalogue. I thought I'd show an album instead. There's a rock band called Super Suckers. Very sort of hard, well, not hard, they're not hardcore, certainly not, but just kind of fun, rocking band. And anyway, they produced this album. This Must Have Been High, and it's a country album. And I think this probably scared some of their fan base, but it's a wonderful album for people who perhaps don't like country or don't think they like country. It's a good stepping on point. It has enough of a rocking punk kind of feel to it that I think people would respond to. And it's got a great duet with Kelly Deal, and even Willie Nelson turns up. And it's got Willie Nelson's harmonica player, Mickey Raphael, playing on it as well. So a really nice album. That's some Sub Pop. That I got given that by a friend years ago because he knew I liked it. Where are we? The last album I purchased. Okay, that's easy. Yesterday on the way home from work, I stopped in a record shop. And it was one of the ones we went to when the UK VC guys met up in Leeds. And this is the record I bought. This is called the Nashville Bar Association. And this is the sort of album you buy almost exclusively for the album sleeve. And basically what the album is a, as you can see here, there's a pedal steel guitar. And it's 5 Nashville pedal steel guitar session players. Probably most famous amongst them is Buddy Emmons. And it's a very strange album. In fact, I asked the guy in the record shop if I could hear this before I bought it. And it kicked off with a kind of rocking, funky riff. And the guy behind the counter went, I didn't think it was going to sound like that. Well, I thought it might do. And it's got a bit of everything, really. It's got them doing traditional country. It's got them doing funky rock. It's got them doing some covers of songs of the day. Yeah, and that cover is just wonderful. I love that. So that's the latest album I've bought. Okay, a great album with a bad cover. Okay, this is a horrible cover. A band called Rank Strangers. They're a progressive bluegrass group, kind of led by Chris Darrow, who has been a mover and shaker in the sort of the country and country rock area for a while. By then, this is from 1977. It looks a bit ahead of its time. That horrible cover, and the typeface is pretty awful as well. In fact, it reminds me very much, I think, of an early 90s record. I can imagine it being some sort of new age thing. But that's a horrible record, but a cover sleeve, but a really nice record. So that's the Rank Strangers, of course, named after a Stanley Brothers song. A bad album from with a great cover. I'm not going to show that. I don't think I have any bad albums with great covers. There's one, but I think I've shown it before, so I'm going to skip that one. A blues album. Okay, this is Snooks Eaglin, New Orleans street singer. This is an album I've nicked from my mother. This is on the Folkways label. I always love the way they kind of just stick the cover over like that onto a card stock. This has got some lovely versions of Trouble in Mind, St James's Infirmary, Rock Island Line. Yeah, Snooks Eaglin on Folkways. He's great. I like that. And it's a lovely cover and a lovely record to have. It's not in the greatest condition. I don't know what my mother was doing to it. I think in the old days when people took records to parties, they just got trashed, didn't they? Okay, an Earworm song. Okay, this isn't my 7-inch, but I'm going to show this. This is Dodgy, and this is their single "Good Enough," which is probably the ultimate sort of Britpop earworm song, to the point that it just people hated it. And as much as I'm a big fan of the band, I recognise that this didn't do them any help. It's got a lovely riff, a lovely song. When you first hear it, you go, that's a pleasant enough kind of rocking pop song. And then it goes on. And then I think this was out in '97, and it was played everywhere: adverts, television, radio, supermarkets. You heard it everywhere, and it just becomes omnipresent, which is horrible. And I think that's the problem with earworm songs. That no matter how good they are, there's something about them that they're too catchy, and they end up annoying you. And so that's dodgy good enough. A historically important artist, well, I'm going to go with Jimmy Rogers, the singing brakeman, recorded in 1927 at Bristol, Tennessee, at the same time as the Carter family, and became an influence to a whole generation of country artists. And I don't think we would have country as it is or was without his influence. There's some pictures of him. So, Jimmy Rogers, the singing brakeman, always singing about trains. Historically important. An album you own because of your parents. Well, my parents were kind of the folkies, and so my dad was a big fan of Joan Baez. This is an album of hers called Ballad Book. It's a collection of ballads, as it sort of says. And yeah, my parents had quite a few Joan Baez albums. They didn't have many albums, but they had quite a few Joan Baez amongst them. And this is a nice collection that reminds me of the sort of stuff that they would listen to. Yeah, I mean, it was partly due to the sort of activism. I think my dad certainly responded to that. And yeah, so that's exactly the sort of thing my dad would listen to. And I've gone on and bought it, haven't I? Look at that. Best dollar bin find. Okay, this is recently, and this is Brian Eno, Taking Tiger Mountain by Strategy. I bought this for £1. It's an original pressing, UK pressing. It's a good album. I've become not obsessed by it, but I've listened to it quite a lot. It's very good. I'm going to have to check out some of his other stuff now. Maybe not his ambient stuff, because yeah, I'm not sure I'm ready for that. But yeah, a nice, interesting album, and I'm really pleased to find an original for $1. Well, £1. Okay, favourite double album. Okay, this is Terry Allen, Lubbock on Everything. A great artist. He was actually a fine art artist, and poet, musician, kind of an all-round artist, really. And this is an album it's his second album he produced. This is from 1979, I believe. Glasses, yeah. Probably most famous song on it here that other people would do would be New Delhi Freight Train. He's kind of like, he has a writing style that's kind of slightly beatnik, like one of the beatnik beat poets, and that sort of filters into the music. It's the kind of country record that people who don't like country would like. So that's a double album. Terry Allen, Lubbock on Everything, a great song about Texas, album about Texas. Okay, album I learned about from the VC in the last year. Oh, there's a guy, I can't even pronounce his name, I'm so sorry. I think he's Brazilian, and he has an incredible collection of folk rock, country rock, West Coast rock, that's from that sort of 69 to 70 period and early. This is from 72, I believe. This is Buckeye by David Patton, and I saw him post this, and I thought, hello, I don't know that. It's got Gib Gilboa, who was in Swampwater that we saw earlier, and so I thought I'd give this a go, and it's okay. The The ballads are a little bit sentimental, and they've got strings on them, but the rocking, funky tracks are great. There's a lovely version of Larry Murray's Dakota the Dancing Bear that Chris Christopherson did as well, with some lovely fiddling from Gib Gilboa. So yeah, very pleased to have that. I can't remember the guy's name, I'm so sorry, but I saw it on the YouTube group. Okay, a 10-inch record. Here we go. This is the... if I do that, it makes it look like a 12-inch record. 12-inch record, 10-inch record, 7-inch record. So this is a 10-inch record by The Wedding Present. This is the Ukrainians sessions for John Peel. And yeah, it's basically Ukrainian folk tunes being played by The Wedding Present in that sort of indie rock, UK indie rock sort of style, but added accordion and danceability. The guys from who were the Ukrainian had the Ukrainian ancestors, families, eventually would break away from The Wedding Present and join and make their own band called the Ukrainians, who are a great live band. You should check them out if you ever see them going around the UK or anywhere else. On the dead wax on this, it's interesting. It's got "Should we kneel at the feet" on one side, and on the other side, at the godlike. Oh, hang on, at the godlike ferret. I think they're talking about John Peel, and I think that means Ukrainian sessions with John Peel, but I might be wrong. A 7-inch record. This is, there you are, 7-inch, 10-inch, 12-inch, no, 7-inch record. And this is a double single from Mary Gaucher and Sam Baker. Now, I'm a big fan of Mary Gaucher. She's great. You should check her out. If you like Lucinda Williams, you'd probably love Mary Gaucher. And Sam Baker is an absolutely unique artist. This is unfortunately the only vinyl release of any of his material, which is one of the reasons why I have this. He is, if you like Guy Clark, if you like Townes Van Sant, if you like Steve Earle, you'd probably like Sam Baker. He was involved in a terrorist bombing on a train in Peru, and as a result, he lost the use of much of his hand to play the guitar, and his eardrums were perforated, so he doesn't hear very well. And so, despite that, he has found the strength to sort of. He finds that actually, as a result of that, he needs to, as a cathartic kind of way of dealing with it, to make music. And he's got a very distinct style due to his injuries. Check him out. He is wonderful. I saw him live early last year or late the year before, and he was absolutely stunning. I hope that one day they release some of his albums on vinyl. So yeah, that's Sam Baker and Mary Gaucher. There's not much to see on the other side. Okay, a favourite album to fall asleep to. My record player doesn't have an auto shut off, and equally it's not in my bedroom, so I don't listen to records to sleep to. Actually, I don't listen to records at all, or music at all to go to sleep. So I'm sorry. And then your favourite VC experience? Well, clearly a lot of people are probably going to say meeting up with other members of the VC, which has been great the last year. We've met up twice, and I've also met up with John Downing as well on our own. Nothing happened. And yeah, that's been really great. You know, it's great to talk to the people that you see doing these videos, and long may that continue. I know that our next VC meetup is looking like it's going to be quite a way away. I think October is the chosen one, but yeah, you never know. We might have another one before then. So yeah, I could have said more mercenary the VCLT that I get from people, but that's a bit yeah, that's not nice, is it? That's yeah, like I said, mercenary to talk about that. Okay, there you go. There's my vinyl tag for 2018. Bye bye for now.